All right. It is 3:30. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Christina Yoakum. I'm one of the assistant directors at the Blue to Gold Money Management Center, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Erica and let her introduce herself to you.
Hi, my name is Erica Gazaway. I am one of the money coaches at East Texas A&M.
And hello, I am Regina. I will be another one of your money coaches here at East Texas A&M, and we are glad to share this credit report review with you.
Yeah. So thanks again for joining us, everybody. Those of you that have just jumped on, we have a credit score poll out there. We're just going to leave it out there. And, if you learn something in the process and change your mind, that's all right. That's all right. It's okay. But I'm going to let Erica and Regina go ahead and get started on their presentation. They've got a lot of really good information about credit scores, how to manage things, what's a good one, what's a not so good one, how to make things better for yourselves. And if you have any questions, by any means, drop them in the Q&A box. And we will answer those questions either during the course of the presentation or at the end of the presentation. So thanks so much for being here. Ladies?
All right, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And our first screen is going to be our social media pages. We would love for you to follow us if you don't mind. I'll leave this here for a few minutes. So we have our X, we have our Instagram, and we have our Facebook QR codes that you can scan so that you can follow our page. We would love to have more followers follow us. You'll learn all about our Money Coach moments that come up each month, what we'll be talking about, and also other fun things that our office is doing, any important dates coming up. We try to share everything on our page so that you can keep up with us and stay in the know. So feel free to scan those and follow us. And at the end of the presentation, we'll have it up once again, just in case you miss it or come in right at the end. We'll have this here to still be able to scan those and continue to follow us. And then I will go on to our next slide. So this is the Money Coach Moments. We're located in the Velma K. Waters Library on the second floor, Suite 231A.
Okay, so we're going to first start off with a disclaimer. This information shared here is for educational purpose only, and it's not financial advice. We are money coaches, not a licensed advisors. Please consult a licensed financial professional before making any decision.
Okay, so we are going to be doing managing credit and maintaining a healthy credit score, understanding the basics of credit and how to keep it healthy. So we're going to try to break down what a credit score is, how important it is to keep your credit score healthy, and just broaden your knowledge on those. So what is credit? Credit is the ability to borrow money or access goods and services with a promise to pay later. So you are going to be able to receive fundings if your credit is good enough to receive, and they will basically pay for your car, and then you're agreeing to pay them back every month to get that car paid off or whatever it is that you might borrow. Types of credit, you have credit cards, you have personal loans, that includes your student loans. You have house mortgages. You also have auto loans. Those are a few examples. So why does credit matter? It affects the ability to borrow money. If your credit is bad, then a lender may not lend you the money to buy something because they aren't sure that you can pay that back. It impacts your interest rates on loans. The lower your score, the higher your interest rate will be. And it plays a role in rental applications, job opportunities, and insurance premiums. It gets you the better your score is, the better your prices and premiums would be.
Okay, so this is basically like the range of scores. So basically, it starts from 300 to like about 850. And so poor is about 300 to 579, 580, 669 is fair. Good is 670 to 739. Very good is 740 to 799, and then excellent is considered 800 to 850. So it basically, if you're more so on the poorer side, you may have to basically probably have a co-signer or something like that. So it's best to be more in the green than in the red and the orange.
Erica, real quick, I have a question for
Mhm.
you. If you're over in that poor and fair side, does that affect interest rates if somebody does offer you credit?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So if you're over on the red to the orange side and poor and fair, could that possibly affect like the interest rate number that you're offered?
Yes,
Right? If somebody
yes.
is offering you loans or credit.
Yes, it does affect. So basically, the lower that your score is, the higher your interest rates will be. So it's best to be, if you're going to try to get anything like that car, that mortgage, it's best to be up in the very good because your interest rates are going to be lower. Okay, so these are the factors that affect your score. Okay, so in the blue, y'all see the 35%. That's basically the payment history. So that takes up a part of your, when you look at your credit report, basically that's 35% of your score. So a payment history is basically a record of how you pay your accounts over time, including whether you paid them on time or late. It's the primary reason why payment history is so important because it's a stronger predictor of whether you'll pay future debts on time. So basically, it's best to make sure that this one right here, you make sure you're paying things on time and over time because it can affect your credit the most out of everything. Credit utilization is in the red, that's 30%. Most credit experts advise keeping your credit utilization under below 30% to maintain a good credit score. So that means basically 30% of your um, um, 30% of your score is going towards credit utilization. So what credit utilization is basically how much you're using on your card. So let's say if you have a credit card and you have $1,000, 30% of that is the usage that they want you to keep it up under. So basically you will only want to do about $300 on that or less in order to keep it where you're good on the utilization. Anytime you go over that 30%, it hurts your credit score even more. Length of credit history, that's the amount of time you've been using credit. So how long you've been keeping it. That's basically what that is. That is 15%. Types of credit used, variety of accounts on your credit report, including credit cards, installment loans, mortgage, and retail accounts. So that means just having different types of credit cards, loans. If you have a house, if you have a type of credit card, that is basically 10% of your credit score. And then the next one in the green is the new credit. So recently opened credit accounts and inquiries from lenders. So basically having new line of credit, that is 10% of your score.
That is absolutely a lot to think about, right? I mean, my goodness. When you think about the two things that are the biggest number on there, 35 and 30%, your payment history and your credit utilization, man, that's a lot. I don't know about you guys out there, but whew. There is a question. Does the credit utilization consider debt to income ratio or just how you use the credit available?
So basically credit utilization is basically like the amount, like how much you're using. So if you have like I said before, like if you have $1,000 that you're using, okay, that 30% will be 300. So keeping it up under that amount, that is kind of like what would help with with the credit utilization part of your credit score. That's pretty much it, the credit utilization.
All right, good deal. What's next?
All right, steps to manage credit effectively. First, the most important is pay bills on time. That's going to be your biggest effect to your credit score. If you're late, that's docking your score. So you want to always try to pay on time if you can. A little earlier is always good, but as long for sure on time. You want to set up automatic payments or reminders so that you can make sure it's paid on time. Like we were stating earlier, payment history is the largest factor in your score. So big one right here. We want to make sure any payment you have, you pay it on time to prevent affecting your credit score. It also prevents getting any extra charges, late fees or something because you didn't pay on time. So definitely most important thing is pay bills on time. Like Erica was stating, keeping your credit utilization low, ideally below 30% of your available credit. So what you've been given, just make sure, just because you were given $1,000 doesn't mean you can go out there and spend the whole $1,000. If you do, you are affecting that credit score. You want to keep your debt minimum to what you've been given. High utilization may indicate a risk to lenders. So you are telling a lender if you're using all of the available credit you have, they may think that you're struggling and you're not doing too well, and it may prevent them to give you a loan of some sort because they're going to be afraid that you might end up getting in over your head and not able to pay them back. So again, keeping that utilization low also helps when you try to get another line of credit or loan or some sort. It helps the lender decide if they want to give that to you or if they think you might be a risk and they want to say, no, let's not do that this time. Our third one is going to be avoid opening too many accounts. Each inquiry can lower your score slightly. Opening multiple accounts within a short time may signal financial stress. So when you're trying to get a loan or get something, when they look at your credit, if they see that you've ran your credit 4 different times in a couple of months, they are thinking you may be struggling. And so you're trying to just grab any type of loans that you can get to help you get caught back up. And so it's going to red flag them basically, and they're not going to want to approve that loan because they're not sure that they're going to get those funds back from you. So just try to avoid having your credit ran too many times to try to open new lines of credit, especially real close together. Number 4, maintain a mix of credit types. So a variety of credit, like credit cards, maybe one credit card, one loan. This can improve your score. Open up one credit card, and if you have a car payment, there's 2 lines of credit right there. You're mixed up the credit types that you have. And then keep old accounts open. The length of a credit history matters. Older accounts help boost your score. So if you have an account, say you open a credit card for Academy 5 years ago. If you can keep that open, you're now adding up years to show that for years you're able to stay on track with your payment and you're showing a payment history. So this is boosting your credit score because you have a longer line of credit history to show the lender that you're responsible, you can make those payments. So if you can keep the account open, that means you're not going to go spend money at Academy every single month. Just spend $10 on something, pay that back so the account doesn't get closed automatically. Some lenders or some accounts will close your account within a year or 2 years if you're not using it. So if you have no activity on that account, then they're likely to go in there and just close the account out on you because they don't think that you need that anymore. So it's very beneficial to have an account open for a good amount of time. Keep that history going to show that you're able to to manage and do what needs to be done.
So I've got a couple questions for you, not me personally, but a couple of our attendees have some questions. And they're kind of the same thing. So somebody asked, what's the best way for young people to start building credit? Because we're talking about how we manage credit, but people want to know how to build credit to start with. And the other one that's very similar is, what steps should I take if I have no credit? So what would you say, like, as you're trying to think about credit and build your credit so that you can eventually get a car loan, or purchase a car, or rent an apartment, or rent a house, or get a mortgage, whatever the situation may be? What would you think?
Okay, so definitely, two things that I have come to mind. The way I did it, when I was younger, I opened up just, I forget what they're called. Erica, do you remember the name, the card, like the credit card? A
The secured card? Is that what you're
secured,
thinking?
yes.
Okay.
So I opened up a secured card. What that is they give you, it's usually a very low amount that they give you on your credit card. It may be $200. You do, though, some places, a lot of places now are going to require you to pay down a deposit. So, for instance, the one I did, I had to pay $100, but I'm trying to build my credit. So I paid them $100. They put $200 on my credit card, and then I just used it for gas once a month, $30 in gas one time a month. And then as soon as I used it for my gas, as soon as it showed up on my bill, I went ahead and paid it. That way I didn't worry about paying it late. And then I just did this consistently so that it would show a credit history for me. It shows I'm making my credit card payment on time every month. I'm using it for a very small amount so that I know I can afford to pay that every month. And it helped build my credit. They do say that you can also look into small loans. Like there are some credit offices out there that have loans, and they will give you a small loan. You just let them know you're trying to build credit. They'll give you a loan, and then again, you just make sure you pay that loan on time each month, that monthly payment. You don't want to get the loan and then turn around the next month and pay the full loan off, because now you've closed that account. So you're not showing a monthly payment history that you're able to do that. You want to keep it open and just pay that payment every month so that you build your credit history line.
Erica, any thoughts on that? Building credit.
I mean, I was just going to say the secure card. That is always best. I don't think you should, go and get if you're trying to build credit, secure card is always the best way to go, because it's a small amount and you're trying to actually build your credit. If you get those like Target cards, stuff like that, they give you large amounts, which can get you into more debt later on. So I really think a secure card, if you're trying to build, that will be the best bet to go. Or if you're going to get one of those cards, make sure to keep your utilization up under 30%.
Yeah, that's good, because you're already putting something up for that, right? Like Regina said, you're already putting some money towards it. So you're saying to that lender, essentially, because a credit card is kind of like taking out a loan, but you're already saying to them, I've got some skin in the game, and I'm ready to do this because I want to build credit. For some students, if you're already renting an apartment, I know where my kids live, their apartment complex they have some kind of programming where when they pay their rent every month, that it helps them build good credit. So there's some kind of programming within the apartment complex that does that. So that may be an option. Like if you have a cosigner to get an apartment, but you can do that every month, because that shows you're making a monthly bill, right? Making that payment every month. So good stuff. Uh-oh, what's going on?
Yep, sorry. There we go.
Things are happening. Things are
Yes.
happening. All right. Okay. So what's next?
Okay, so checking your credit report. Okay, why you should check. Basically, y'all should do it just because of errors on your report. That's always great to um look at those because basically they can basically hurt your score. Okay. How to get a free report, you can go to annualcreditreport.com. It is something that is free once a year. So I mean you if you do it more than once a year, you're gonna have to pay for it. But it is something where you can get all three from the credit bureaus. Um, and just so that what you can look for would be looking at your personal information. So that's like your name, your address, just making sure all those things are correct. And then accounts you don't recognize. So like if you see something like, hey, I got like Regina said, an Academy card or any type of card, and you say, I don't have that type of card, that's when you want to go in and just be like, hey, that's not mine. Go in dispute, get in touch with the credit card company and see what's going on. Also, late payments that aren't yours. So that's also something that can affect your credit score. It's just basically going and just making sure that the payments that you made are on time because that can also affect your credit score. So it's great to go in and check your credit report at least once a year. I mean, there's other ones out there, but to be honest, this one is free, and it actually gives you all three. And because some of them only give you two, and some of them only give you one. So it's a great time to do it at least once a year.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I've had to dispute some things on my credit reports too. And you've got three credit reporting agencies. What are those three agencies? Remind me.
TransUnion, Experian, and I don't forgot. Oh my
What's that
goodness.
extra? Equifax, right?
Equifax. Yes, it begins
Yeah.
with an E. Equifax.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
you really need to check each one to make sure, because you can set up a free account with each of those too, those credit bureaus, and you need to check each one because like I have something that's out there. I had something that was out there from like a medical something, a balance that was never paid, but it was not mine. But it was only on one of the reporting agencies and not on all three of them. So it's really important. And like one reporting agency had a weird name on there for me. So I had to dispute some of that stuff. And usually they'll be, if you get on top of it and dispute it as quickly as possible. But I will say, don't dispute anything you know that's yours, right? Because they're going to look into it. They're going to look into it and but it will make a difference. And sometimes like when you apply for a credit card at a different place, they only use one credit reporting agency. So that's why, and maybe another place uses a different credit reporting agency to check your credit. So that's why it's important to check all three to make sure that your personal information out there and all the accounts and anything that looks like it may have gone to collections, but it's not yours, you dispute that as soon as possible. But I put that annualcreditreport.com in the chat as well. So when they go to the next slide, it's still there for you.
Okay, so fixing common credit issues. So our dispute errors, my apologies. If you find inaccuracies, dispute them with the credit bureau. Paying off debt, start with a high interest debt first is one goal. You could also try to start paying off the lowest amount that you have on a credit card if you prefer that. You just kind of work with it and see what works best for you. You want to settle your debts if you are behind on something and struggling to pay it. Reach out to them, consider negotiating with the creditors. A lot of times, as long as you let them know what's going on and your issues, they'll work with you, they'll negotiate with you. So definitely try to settle it with them instead of just letting it keep going. So a lot of times they'll work with you if you just let them know your situation and where you're at. And again, avoid late payments. Set reminders and automatic payments if that works best for you. Whatever you find that works best to keep you making those payments on time, that's what you do for you. Okay.
Okay, dealing with negative items. So late payments. Stay on track and try to catch up if you miss payments. collections, work out payment plans or settlements with collection agencies. So if you guys don't know what a collections is, it's basically when you have a past due amount that you have not paid. So basically it is sent off to a third party. So that could be anybody. And that is a third party that's affiliated with that company. And basically they sell your information. Well, they don't sell your information, but they give them your information over to them so that they can start trying to get your funds, try to basically get money from you so that you could pay off your debt. So that's basically what a collections is. Bankruptcy, if it stays on your credit report for 7 to 10 years, but recovery is possible with good habits. And then I have a little bullet point. Bankruptcy provides a financial fresh start for debtors by eliminating or discharging some of all of their debts.
Okay, and next we have building or rebuilding your credit. So here is where we were talking about the secured credit cards. If you have bad credit or no credit, starting one of these can help you. This is the one where sometimes they might ask for a deposit to put down on it, and you are usually given just $200-300 or so to make sure that you don't overspend. We also have a credit builder loan. These are small loans designed to help you build or rebuild your credit. You could also be added as an authorized user. Ask someone with good credit to add you as an authorized user on their account. Their credit history will then be added to your name as well. So you want to make sure they have good credit because their score is going to be what your score is going to be until you start working on your credit. Timely payments, even if you're rebuilding, always make your payments on time to help build your score up there as well.
Okay, so common credit mistakes to avoid. Missed payments. So late payments will negatively affect your credit score. Maxing out credit cards. That's a big one, y'all. High credit utilization signals financial risk. Not diversifying your account. Having only one type of credit may limit your score's potential. So that means basically going to try to get like either like a mortgage or a credit card um or a loan, a personal loan, that can basically diversify your credit. Ignoring your credit report, failing to check for errors could lead to mistakes that will hurt your score. Applying for too much credit at once, multiple inquiries in a short period can damage your score.
Okay, understanding credit reports and FICO score. So your credit report is detailed records of your credit history and behaviors. Your FICO score is going to be the most commonly used credit score model, ranging from 300 to 850. You also have a vintage score, another credit score model, similar to FICO, but it's only used by some lenders. FICO is more popular. Most lenders are going to be using the FICO to see what your score is. Your credit reporting agencies. Here are your 3 reporting agencies that you can receive a report from once a year free at the annual credit report. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
Okay, maintaining a healthy credit score long term. So basically being consistent is the key, y'all. Regularly pay bills on time and manage credit responsibly. Review your credit regularly. Keep an eye on your credit report for any errors or suspicious activity. Limit new credit applications. Only apply for new credit when necessary. And then keep utilization low. Keep your credit balances well under the credit limit.
Yeah, talk about that again, real quick, Erica, that credit utilization. Like, what are we trying to keep our balance under? Like, can you give us an example?
Keep our balance under. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
for
that
credit.
30%. That's that 30% that we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Credit utilization is basically keeping everything up under 30%. It's best to keep it. I mean, you can even do 10%, 20%, whatever you have to do, but don't get it to go over 30%. So basically, if you have two credit cards, just think of it as, hey, that is one credit card. I need to keep my utilization up under that 30%. So it's not just with one thing, it's with every single thing on your account. So you have to
Right.
think of that as well.
So basically what you're saying is if I've got 3 credit cards and each credit card has $1,000 on it that I've used or $1,000 eligibility, right?
Mhm.
I want to keep it all 3 credit cards in total under that 30%,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And you just want to make sure that you don't even want interest neither. So like, I mean, you will want to avoid that as well. So if you're going to buy something on your credit card, just make sure that you pay it off, even probably before, you can still keep on using it, but, make sure so you don't accrue interest either.
Yes, it's very good if you can, what you used that month, if you can pay it off within that month, then you eliminate the possibility of paying on interest. One other thing I wanted to kind of throw out there, if you do have a bank account, check with your bank. Some banks have a credit score app or something that they provide with their bank account. So you can check if they have that. It's free to you to use. It'll show you your credit. It'll show you how much in total credit you have. It will also show you how much total in debt you have. And then it's kind of an easier aspect to keep up with it that way. Some of the credit cards have it as well. So if you do check into getting like a secured credit card or something, they might not right away, but in the future, they might end up having that where you can have that added. And it's definitely a good tool to help you keep up with how much credit you have on your account, as well as how much debt you've been using. It'll even calculate it for you. It'll give you flags like, oh, hey, you've utilized too much to kind of let you know, okay, let's start paying down this and don't use it till I can get my utilization back down low. All right, in conclusion, so our key takeaways from today, managing credit and maintaining a healthy score are essential for financial stability. Timely payments, low credit utilization, and monitoring your credit report can help maintain a healthy score. Even if your credit is poor, taking steps to manage it responsibly can improve your score over time. And now we'll open up for any more questions we might have, as well as provide this QR code for all of our social media page, and we encourage you to please follow us if you aren't already for any updates that we have or our upcoming Money Management Center moments that we'll have going for you.
Awesome stuff. Awesome information. Okay, so first of all, I want to say our poll was pretty darn good. So we had of all the people, 67% said 670 is a good credit score. We had some 33% that said 829 was a good credit score. So, ladies, what's the answer?
829 is a good score, but it's an excellent score.
Right. So we were using the word good like good. So if you went back, if you went back to your slide that showed the scale, right? You had poor, fair, good, and excellent, right? We were looking for the good, right? So yes, 829 would be an excellent score. Oh, there's a very good in there, right? So yeah, so that 670 is a good score, right? It's going to get you good things. It's going to get you credit cards. It's going to get you a decent interest rate, but the closer you get to the excellent or in the excellent, you're going to, find yourself in a better position all the way around. So thank you for doing the poll. We really appreciate that. All right. So our first question is, how often does my credit score change?
Oh, so your credit score changes basically whenever you apply for something new. So if you go in and you apply for something, so say a mortgage, they're going to run your credit. So if you have a poor credit, it might go down. or it might go, or if you have a good credit, it might go up, down, then up. So it just depends on what they're actually looking for, and what they're looking for you to be able to get that. So I mean, it just depends on whenever you do apply for something and it requires a credit check or to anything. Basically that's what they'll do is run your credit, and then it might go up or it might go down, but sometimes it'll go down and then it might go shoot back up. Um so it doesn't do it on its own. But also if you don't do anything, it just stay where it's at.
And
Well,
when you
oh,
make
go ahead.
your,
Go ahead.
yes, so when you make payments, your credit score will change because you're lowering your utilization. When you spend on your card, it's going to change because you have just raised your utilization some. So anytime you use a credit, anytime you make a payment on a debt, run your credit, any of those things that you do is going to adjust your score. So as often as you do stuff like that is as often as your score is going to change.
Yeah, so it can change every 30 to 45 days. It can change on a regular basis. But again, remember, you've got three different reporting, right? You've got three different credit score reporting agencies. And so each one of them does things a little bit different. And each of your lenders is also going to do something a little bit different. So each lender is going to report differently to the credit agencies. So you can have a good score with one agency, a very good score with another agency. They're going to be similar, but they could be different, right? They could range from very good to good or very good to excellent, depending on what you're looking at. All right. So yeah, so that's an excellent question because it can change based on a number of factors. One of the things that I did pop out there in, well, actually, I didn't yet. So let me do that right now in the chat, was this opt-out pre-screen. So you can go on to this website right here because, I don't know about you guys, but in my house, especially for my young adult children, they get a lot of mail, and a lot of that mail that comes to the house is credit card offers. And those credit card offers are like soft hits on your credit score. So every time a company wants to offer you a credit card, they're actually doing a check on your credit. And a soft hit affects you less than a hard hit on your credit score, but they're still doing that. So in order to keep that from happening, you can go to that opt-out pre-screen website and put your name and information in there so that those things will stop coming to you, right? So that was a really good question. So thanks for asking that. So the next question is, what is the ideal number of credit cards to have? Could you say there's an ideal number of credit cards?
I don't think there is, but if you are tempted to spend on every one of them cards, then one. But if you're able to just spend a low amount on each one, then it's beneficial to have a couple because that raises your credit limit. So each limit on those cards is going to be a total of more credit on your account. So it's beneficial to have a few more as long as you're able to keep all of them at a low rate where you just spend once a month on each of them very low to be able to pay that off each month. And it's beneficial. So it's kind of how the person can manage with one card or 10 cards. You have to know you at this time. How can you do with those cards?
And can you afford it?
That's what I was going to say is know yourself and know your income, right? And that's one of the things that we're here to do at the Money Management Center is to help you kind of figure those things out as a student. So we can do virtual appointments, we can do phone appointments, we can do in-person appointments. And really, because sometimes that can get very confusing, and we want to be able to help students understand that stuff before they actually have that career and then find themselves in a position where maybe they're maxed out on all their credit cards. Because to have credit cards and be maxed out on them is not a good thing. That means you have no available credit, right? And no available credit does not look good on your credit score. You always want to have available credit, right? And that's why Erica and Regina kept saying, you've got to keep that utilization score below 30%, because then it shows that you have available credit to use, right?
And I want to share one more thing.
Mhm.
With the credit cards, if you apply for a credit card and you get denied, don't keep applying for more credit cards. You just got a hard hit on your credit because you were denied. That means that your credit isn't that well. And the more you keep running it, trying another card to see if they're going to do it, try another card to see if you're going to get a yes here. Every time you do, you're hurting your score even more. And so if you do get a denial, do some research and some digging to see what is going to be easier for you at the moment to try to get that credit going. The more you keep running it, the more you're affecting it.
Good point. All right, here's another question. If I have a delinquent debt from several credit cards, is it better to pay off one at a time or make small, less than the minimum requirement payments on all of them each month?
So in my opinion, I feel like that's another, what's going to work best. To me, I want to either start paying on the card that has the highest interest rate first, or start paying on the one that has the lowest amount owed and get that paid off, and then work on the next one, and then work on the next one.
Yeah, there's a also in the chat, there's something called PowerPay debt reduction software. It's free. And it's a university, I think it's Utah State University that has that. And basically you can put all of your debt in there and try to figure out how you can navigate paying those things off and how to pay them off to the best of your ability, right? But keep in mind that you always want to work with your creditors, right? So yes, it feels intimidating sometimes to be able to call somebody up and say, oh my gosh, I'm struggling right now. I can't pay all of this money that you're asking me to pay, but what can I do to be successful in paying this back? And calling up each of your creditors to get to that point where you can create, because what they want to know is they're going to get their money back, right? I mean, any business wants that. They want to know that they're going to get their money back. So you calling them up and saying, this is my situation. What do I need to do? Right? What do I need to do? How do I need to pay you? What is the best way? This is what I can do now. Is that workable for you? Right? But keeping those lines of communication open with your creditors so that they understand where you are and that you want to pay your debt back.
Okay, I want to add something because I see that she says less than the minimum requirements.
Mhm.
You do not want to do that.
Okay.
Because for one thing, what will happen is that you will basically start owing more than what like the interest will start accruing more. So you want to at least make sure each time that you at least make the minimum requirement. Because if you do that, basically you're going to start owing more money because you're late on your payment. They set you a due date and amount, and that's the amount that they're expecting from you. So if they see anything less than that amount, they're going to start charging you more. And also late payments and all of that. So you do want to make sure you at least make the minimum payment.
Yeah. And again, remember, credit cards are like loans. So if when you start paying, all you're paying on is the interest, right? And then the more you can get to a point where you can pay more and more and more, you're paying down the principal. So the interest rate, you're not being charged as much. But man, that interest will kill you every time. It really will. So that's why it's important, like Regina and Erica said, make at least the minimum payment and pay them on time, right? Set it up so that you can pay that on time and you're not going to get charged a late fee because those late fees hurt. They hurt, don't they, ladies? They hurt.
They rack up quick.
Yep, they sure do. So the next question, the next question is not a question, but a comment. Oh, ask your parents or family to add you to their good standing credit cards, as our ladies mentioned. Yes. Yep, absolutely. Excellent. Excellent point. Okay, question answered. So I'm running through these real quick. Thank you for all of this information. We are happy to be here and help. Yeah, looking at the opt-out site now, is it a smart idea for my young adult kids to permanently opt out? I would say what's the harm, right? In permanently opting out? Truly, truly. Because again, that is not a hit to your credit at all if you opt out. Go ahead, Regina. Sorry.
And I was gonna say, if you feel like your young children, adults are tempted when they get those cards, then yes, have them opt out. That way you're not tempted every time you see it. Oh, wait, maybe I should try this one. Go ahead and opt out of it.
I was also thinking, especially with junk mail about the security thing, it's also great to, if you do get the junk mail that comes through the mail, make sure you shred it. So I want to make sure I add that in there because just don't throw it in the trash. Make sure you shred it.
Right, because identity theft is real.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, we are more than happy to help you. We'd love to see you in person. Zoom, obviously, or Teams is the next best thing because then we can look at your face. It's a whole lot nicer and a whole lot easier to have those conversations with you. But if you just wanted to drop by, we're on the second floor of the library, as Regina said earlier, and we're here. We're here from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're here for it. Talk about all the money things. And we don't have any more questions. So, Erica, Regina, is there anything else that you two would like to add?
Oh, and just so you know, our email is moneymatters@tamuc.edu.
I will put that in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thank you very much. We have 2 other money coaches as well. So Regina and Erica are here, but if they happen to be busy with another student, then Miriam and Renata can see students as well as myself and Nikki Pettit, our other assistant director. Apparently I can't type and talk at the same time. So there we go. Okay. So now it is all in the chat. And Regina, one more time, if you want to put up the QR codes to follow us on social media, because we've got lots of good reminders coming up. We wish you all the best and hope that this semester was successful for everyone. And we hope that you're able to walk away from the fall semester feeling good and ready to have a little break, go away for the
Please go
holidays.
follow us.
Yes.
We would love to have you.
That's right. That's right. I'm curious, you could drop it in the Q&A. What's everybody using for social media these days? Anybody that's left on here want to tell us what their choice of social media is here lately? I feel like a lot of students are using Instagram. Nobody wants to tell us. Instagram is my go-to. That's where I spent my time. Instagram, if I get on social media at all. What about you, Regina?
I'm more of a Facebook. I go to Facebook first.
Okay,
So
Erica.
if I know something, it's from Facebook.
I would probably say, I don't know, I'm kind of in between,
Okay.
More like, yeah.
All right. I'm an OG Facebook user, says one of our attendees. I was told that you're supposed to, we're shifting here. Hang on just a second. I was told that you're supposed to pay your card after the statement date, but before the due date, but not all of it, so they know you're using it. It seems a bit confusing. So definitely before the due date is good, right? Because then you're not
Yes.
charged that late fee. But this individual says not all of it, which I have never heard that.
I know just for personal, like what I do is I do pay my cards before the due date just to make sure that it's on time. You can't do automatic payments, but sometimes you get a little bit nervous and you do it beforehand. But kind of like somewhat how it work is like you can pay it before the due date. But typically like they want you before they start charging you interest, you want to make sure you pay it before then. Pay the balance that was on the statement, the close end date in the beginning. I think it's called the close end date and the opening statement date. You want to make sure that you pay before they start accruing interest. So you want to get with your credit card company to just check and see what that date is that they start charging you interest. And then you just make sure that you pay whatever was due that you spent on that card during that month, that time. That's when you start that's when you're supposed to pay the whole amount off, if that makes sense.
Right, because think of it this way. If
Mhm.
you pay interest on that debt, right, which is essentially what you would be doing if you don't pay the balance in full, right? If you pay interest on that, that's like, well, I just went and I had a meal somewhere and I used my credit card to have a meal. Well, now that meal that I'm paying for a month later or 2 months later because I didn't pay the balance on the account is now actually that meal was more than what I sat down to eat, right? Because now you're paying the company interest on that meal that you ate, right? Does that make sense? And you don't really want to do that. What you want to do is pay for what you used. I, ate this meal and it was $35. That's what I want to pay for. I want to pay $35. I don't want to pay $35 plus 18% interest or 14% interest or whatever that interest may be, because that's more money out of my pocket. So that's a good question though.
Mhm.
But I like Erica's suggestion to call the company
Mhm.
to make sure that you know when that company is going to start charging you interest so that you're not paying extra. So we had somebody that said they use LinkedIn as their social media. That's interesting. And so the entire balance needs to be paid in full every month or just enough to keep it around 10%. So personally, to me, it's the entire balance because again, whatever you leave on that account from your balance statement, whatever you've left there you're going to be charged interest on that. Right? Erica, Regina?
Yeah, but I mean, but it's still the 30% usage. So if you can get up under that helps, but it's also great if you want to pay off where you don't have to pay interest, you'll want to keep it below the 30%,
And the interest for
Mhm.
sure, your statement balance, you want to make sure you pay in full each month. That's when you'll start accruing interest if you don't pay that statement balance at the end of each month. Your score won't be affected if you pay the minimum it's asking. You're making your payment, but that's where your interest starts eating into it because they're charging you interest now.
Right. So your statement balance you're paying at the end of every month. So you're not accruing interest because again, interest is more money that you're having to pay on that, right? Every time you get charged interest, you're paying more money to the credit card company. And you technically just want to pay for the thing that you purchased or the meal that you ate or the thing that you did, which is why when Erica talks about that credit utilization, you're looking at how much money do I have coming in and how much can I spend every month? Right? So that's where that budgeting comes in really handy. You're looking at those two things because if you're spending way over on that credit card every month and you are not able to pay on that statement balance every month, then you are going to be paying extra every month.
And then you're going to be at risk of going to collections. That's basically the route that you're going.
Right, right. And think of it like this too. If I eat out and I eat a meal once a week and I use my credit card, I don't want to be paying on those meals 6 months down the road, right? I want to pay them off. And that's why it's really important to be focused on what can I afford to do with this credit card while I'm building credit, right? So really good questions. Really good questions. Any other questions? Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Don't forget to go follow us.
Sounds
And
like
also come and see us.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Sound like we're making a sales pitch here. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to everybody. You guys have a great evening, and we really appreciate your time and being here with us today to learn all about credit scores, credit cards, all the good things. Take care.